Well, yes, indeed. As you know, the campaigns are still going on in some areas. Ine Thompson is here to give us a campaign roundup today. Hello, Ine.
Hello, Chamberlain. Good evening. After a peaceful and successful presidential elections, the government candidates do not want to be caught short. And so in Nasarawa State, we see opposition parties, we see 3 candidates from different parties meeting together and campaigning, but all in a peaceful manner. Nzemada Cultural Festival in Akwanga, Nasarawa State, a showcase of the rich cultural heritage of the people of Mada tribe with a 2014 theme, Festival of Peace and Reunion. It serves as a convenient platform for the 3 major governorship aspirants to meet. Tanko Al-Makura, the serving governor and candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Labaran Maku of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, and Yusuf Agabi of the People's Democratic Party. While enjoying the event, they on the side canvass for votes and ask for peace.
I'm a politician for peace and for development. Yes. My politics is not associated with violence, and I'm urging the governor and the chief security officer of the state to ensure peace on Saturday. Yes.
In Cross River State, politicians are reviewing the process of the presidential election with the objective of preferring solution to hitches that may occur during Saturday's governorship election.
What they call credible election.
For the chairman of APC in the state, Usani, one way to ensure credible results is in the manner of collation and announcement.
As the results are turned in, they should be announced. Waiting to see all results before announcement in itself is an index of perfection in their criminality.
While for the PDP, John Okon, his message is a call to the electorate for support for the party and not just the candidates.
Sometimes you look at the candidates, you look at the structure of the party. When a party sponsors you, we put everything to make sure you succeed, not by manipulating, but by giving the candidate support.
Party members and candidates have until Wednesday midnight to campaign and make their opinion public, after which they will have to wait until the people speak at the polls. That's right, we're getting closer and closer to Saturday, and so this is like the last minutes for the politicians to win the votes. Back to you, Chamberlain.
Oh, yes, indeed, and none of them want to make any mistakes whatsoever. Oh, yeah, thank you. Let's get back to this, and we're beginning to wind down now on this. About the card readers, let's get your responses. What do you expect this weekend? What do you think will happen? Having seen the way the presidential elections and National Assembly elections went, what do you think will happen? Because INEC has released that statement saying, yes, they did relax the guidelines on the 28th of March, only with respect to the presidential and National Assembly's elections held on that day. But that won't happen for this weekend. They say, no, if elections don't conclude, the next day.
Well, I think it's a good sign because they've also taken advantage of the timing. We've had a gap between the presidential. And, you know, we tend to forget that they've actually been working at this election since 2011. So it's not just waking up one morning and deciding to deploy all these things. So my own sense of optimism is high that they would have worked out the little glitches and the kinks. And again, the weakest link in this value chain is the human agency in the machines. So they have to retrain their staff properly, make sure the materials arrive on time, all of those logistical challenges that, you know, somewhat tarnished certain aspects of the presidential will hopefully have been taken care of. But like Benga says, the problem is not really the machines. The problem is the human agency in that value chain. And that is the human agency that seeks to corrupt this the digital thing we want. My own aspiration is that as we evolve the process, it becomes much more difficult for political interference because the chain becomes tighter. We eventually arrive at a point where the moment you vote, as the gentleman from the Cross River was suggesting, the results are there, straight to the server, immutable, you can't change it. And the process of verification means that the biometrics now becomes a universal standard. I mean, already INEC has the most up-to-date and the most secure database of all Nigerians. So there are certain things that they've managed to do that we should give them credit for. We have to wait for the evolutionary dimensions of this whole electoral experiment to take its full course, and hopefully, right, manage the human agency in the value chain.
All right. How do we eliminate or reduce to the barest minimum this human element that keeps frustrating this process, Mr. Kalajai?
Well, it's obvious that those who truncate processes do research. Those who perfect truncation must also do more research. The umpire must act, faster and better than the participants. So in that respect, the onus is still on the umpire. In this respect, INEC. We expect that we had about 2 weeks interval, and that's quite good time for them to have learned some of the mistakes and correct some of the mistakes and block some of the loopholes. So that's my view.
Mr. Mulu.
Yeah, my take on that is ab initio, when INEC decided to go with fingerprints and capturing the data cards machine or what, I thought they should complete the whole process. You don't do it half-half. And that's the problem we're having.
What's the other process?
The other process is, if you're saying you're going to do digital accreditation and all that, we should also have the other end, which is the digital voting. Yes. Which is the digital voting.
That will mean amending the Electoral Act.
You see, you cannot take this in bits and expect the best results. If you're talking about technology, the technology should be wholesome.
Okay.
It's a
child does not learn to walk.
But at the same time,
so a child learns to walk by taking the steps.
My brother. At the same time, a child does not go carrying a load that he or she knows is heavier than him. You should carry the load you can carry. When we choose the technology, we should complete it to e-voting. With the e-voting, you know what would have done?
The problem is not that.
I'm afraid we have to go to...
You just mentioned the human interference.
That is the problem.
That is where we wanted to eliminate. Since we could not interfere in the card reading, the e-voting, the INEC could have done more job in securing the...
All right, guys, let's go to break.
Perfect the first step. We can go to this.
We'll go to break. We'll come to Gbenga Sheson in a minute, so we're not leaving him out of this one, but just give us a minute. We'll be back. Welcome back to Nigeria 2015. Let me get Gbenga Sheson's comment. Gbenga, we'll have less than a minute to do this. Let's get your final word. Do you think some of these challenges can be overcome?
On Saturday, March 28, there was an element of surprise. People who could have brought their fake cards didn't come because they thought the card readers would work, and so they stayed back at home because they didn't want to get caught. On April 11, INEC needs to know this. There are people who will rely on the 0.25 or the 8% failure rate and show up with fake card readers. And it means that INEC cannot afford to keep it at 0.25% or even 8%. They need to get their acts together. Today is just Monday, right? So they've got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to do everything they need to do. It's been said in the press statement that they've done everything that they need to do, but we've heard this before. So INEC needs to make sure that now they've lost the element of surprise. So now the card readers must work and instructions must flow smoothly in the field.
Thank you, Gbenga. Gentlemen, in 30 seconds, we all have to wrap up. The final word. Do you think this will work this weekend?
Absolutely. I think digital countermeasures will trump analog rigging.
Very optimistic.
That it will work.
We should go ahead.
Yeah, I'm optimistic enough to say that on Sunday, we should be declaring Jimmy as the governor of Lagos State.
He had to add that politics. He's learning fast now.
Obviously,
he's learning fast.
Somebody is on
You just have to give it to politicians.
It's very clear.
All right, that's Paul Kalajaye is the Director of Mobilization for Ambode Campaign Organization, that's of the APC. And then we have Tony Nwulu, now has been elected for Oshodi Solo Federal Constituency 2 in the PDP. And then Tunji Lardner did observe the elections, and you'll be doing that again this weekend.
Yeah.
Don't forget Gbenga Sheson, our IT expert, who also joined us via Skype. So that's it, gentlemen. Thank you all for coming in.
Gbenga, thank you.
So from all of us here today, Nigeria 2015 Studios, good night.